So, hey guys, thank you for joining us on our Monday night masterclass. And tonight's masterclass is all about how to make a bigger impact on social media. Now, this training may not be exactly what you think. So, I have put together a presentation. Feel free, I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see it. Feel free to unmute yourself, ask questions, chat questions, and at the end, I will go back through the chat because I can't always see things when I am sharing my screen. So hopefully you can see myself and you can see the Monday Masterclass. So how to make a bigger impact on social media. One, a lot of our teammates are headed to the cruise, so I hope you guys are stalking them. So a lot of the Masterclass tonight may not be many people on, and that's okay. But let's talk about social media. I'm going to actually put my notes up here. Let me know if my iPad gets in the way of the screen. But, social media is actually the best and the worst thing that's ever happened in network marketing. It's the best thing because of your reach, right? Nothing can make your business more successful than social media. It's honestly the best bang for your buck. Not a blog, not a business page, not a website, not even doing parties. I'm not saying don't do any of those, but those things take so much time, so much effort, so much energy, and the ROI on that is small because people have to find the business page, they have to find the blog, they got to find it, they got to sign up, subscribe, then they actually have to go and check it, right? Whereas with social media, the ROI is huge because you're already in people's feeds. They are already interested in what you are doing. They're already seeing you. And you can make a huge impact on hundreds of people from one post. So it is a huge tool for network marketing. I'm a great example of that. I've built my entire business and I continue to build my business on social media. Now, I've written books, I have a blog. None of that gets me anything for my business. It really is. We are living in a day and age where we are so blessed by social media. But there are some ways to use it to have a bigger impact, to get a bigger return. And we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. So first thing I want to talk about, though, is just social media in general and how many people are using social media. Okay, so the total population in the world is 7.5 billion, and 4 billion people are on the internet. 3 billion are active social media users, meaning they use it often. 5 billion use it on their mobile phones, right? They're active on a mobile device. Sorry, I'm trying to move, I've covered up my screen. And then almost 3 billion are not only social media users, but they're social media users on a mobile device. Now, a lot of times I've heard, and I've been in the conversations and, people trying to figure out, well, Facebook is old. Should I do Instagram? How can I use LinkedIn? How can I use Pinterest? And I will tell you that while other social media is definitely up and coming and it's different markets you can tap into, when I first started this business, somebody told me to do one thing and do it well. Don't try to do 12 things, right? So if Facebook is your niche, go to Facebook, and then you can dabble in one other social media and maybe grow it. If you do Instagram well, do that well, and then maybe dabble a little in Facebook as your secondary. But I want to show you the stats for actual social media use in 2018. As you can see, Facebook is still the most used social media app. 2 billion, over 2 billion people use Facebook compared to only 800 million on Instagram. Now, Facebook's been around longer, but as you guys all know, or maybe you don't, most of you know, Facebook actually owns Instagram. They bought it. So Instagram has all the same algorithms as Facebook. The news feeds, the notifications, they're not in any order. It's still the same algorithms. But you do have different types of people on both. So Facebook is still relationship based. If you friend somebody on Facebook that is a stranger and you do not know them, they think you're a creeper and they will not accept your friend request. Whereas on Instagram, that's what everybody does. Everyone follows strangers, right? That's a thing. So if you follow somebody and send them a cold message, they're not going to think it's weird at all, right? So it's just different audiences for different uses. I know some of you guys are going to ask what that 7.6 billion user is with the pink little basketball. That's actually called Dribble. It's a social media app for artists and graphic designers to share content that they've created. So like logos, graphics, artwork. It's an artwork sharing app. So that's what has 7.6 billion. In fact, what's bigger than Instagram is YouTube. YouTube has 1.5 billion users. So I'm starting to think maybe I should increase my Instagram with all the videos I do. But anyway, I just wanted you guys to see a perspective that Facebook, often if you've been doing this business for a while, you might think that your Facebook is kind of tapped out or that it's old and it's stale, but it really is still the most used social media app, okay? So many people think, though, that creating content for social media, so we're going to talk a little bit tonight about marketing versus prospecting, and these are some foundational things that we all need to know in order to make our social media better. And by making that better, we will grow our business. So let's talk about marketing versus prospecting, because many people think that when you're creating your posts on social media, that's working your business, but it's actually not. And tonight we're going to talk about how to make a bigger impact, right? Because that's what this is about. It's not about the perfect post. So there's no unicorn or silver bullet that I'm going to share with you tonight that is the perfect post or perfect video. But we're going to talk about the foundation for making an impact on social media and how you can improve your content. And I'm going to give you some things to do and some action items. We're all going to do them this week, and you're going to see kind of a change in your content and in turn in your relationships and your business, right? So it's all about how to make that bigger impact. But there's two things we do on social media for our business. We are doing marketing and prospecting. Social media, so like posting on Instagram, posting on Facebook, even no matter what it is, that's marketing. And marketing is passive. You create a post or a video, and then you hope someone else will take action on the other end, right? Marketing takes time. It takes time for us to figure out what the heck we're going to talk about, what are we going to post about, but it doesn't count as working your business, okay? Because you're waiting for somebody else to take action. It's out of our control. It generates leads, okay? This is what posting on social media does. It generates leads, which is super important, but it's easy to get lost in just posting on social media and losing focus of actually working our business, right? Because when you post, you hope that somebody is scrolling and they see it, and then you actually hope they take action, okay? But the problem is we don't have control over what that person does. So social marketing, attraction marketing, social media, whatever we're going to talk about, it takes time for us to find the right content, find the right audience, be ourselves on video, and most of us don't have the patience in that to reap the rewards. So we also have to be doing prospecting. So when you have people that comment and like or share, you should be writing their names down. Those are your leads. That's how you use social media, right? So if you're spending all of your time, like 70 or 80% of your time just figuring out what to post, and you're not actually reaching out to people, messaging people, building relationships, training new team members, checking in with your customers, it's flip-flop. So as important as social media is, and as all the things we talk about tonight, you should be spending 70% of your time actively working your business and the other 20 or 30% in social media. And the cool thing is nowadays with algorithms and the way social media works, the less we post, the better, which makes it easier on us. When I first started 4 years ago, you had to post like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a day. I mean, we were constantly on Facebook, constantly trying to come up with stuff because it was just about inundating. Well, now it's different. You only want to do, one post a day, 1 to 3 posts a day. And we'll talk a little bit about that in the beginning, right? But the key is prospecting. So we're going to talk about how to use social media as kind of your leads. And then you really want to start like actively reaching out to people, and how you do it. I'm not talking about salesy cold messages, but you have to do both. You can't have one without the other. So look at prospecting when you reach out to somebody or you message somebody. Look at that as planting the seed. And then attraction marketing, your social media, that's what waters the seeds, right? So every time you do a live video, every time you make a post that adds value to others, you're watering those seeds. So if you are following up with people, let's say you have all those fence sitters that they say no, or you check in with them and then they say nothing, and then you check in again 6 months later and nothing, and right? It's because you're actually not watering those seeds on social media in between those times. You're not adding value. So you can't expect a plant to grow where you're not watering those seeds, right? So, and for new people, if you guys are watching this and you're like just starting your Plexus journey and you're like 30 days, within 30 or 60 days, we don't even want you to know about attraction marketing. I just want you to get out there and share with your inner circle how excited you are to start Plexus. I don't even want you worrying about a whole lot of stuff. This is for those of us who have been doing this for a little bit. Maybe we're silver, we're gold, we're gold or above, and we're going to really be strategic in our social media, okay? So when you look at your post, it's all about not being an infomercial for Plexus, okay? And sometimes that's hard. I get it, because these products are so incredible. I just want to like shout them from the rooftops. It's like, oh man, I haven't talked about Nerve. I got to talk about Nerve. Oh my goodness, great ease testimony. And I just want to inundate people with how great these products are. But that is not what social media is used for nowadays, okay? In fact, what worked for us 4 years ago on social media doesn't work now. So we need to be able to change and really use social media for our advantage. Now, one thing I want you to do before we get into this adding value in your post, and we'll have the action items. I have a slide at the end. I want you to do a time audit for the next 7 days. And I want you to be cognizant of how much time you spend trying to think of something to post, making a graphic, editing a photo. And really, if you're spending too much time doing that, then definitely you want to be paying attention. You want to be taking in these action items so you're not spending so much time doing the social media versus actually working your business, okay? So we have all been here. We've all wanted to find like the perfect post. What is the perfect engagement post? What is the perfect Plexus Pro Bio post, okay? But when we start thinking about this, we start in that success mindset, meaning what can my post give to me instead of what can my post give to someone else, right? So I want you guys to think about the impact and how you can start adding value with your post without being kind of the Plexus infomercial. And here's the thing, guys. If you go back and you look at maybe your last 10 posts, hang on, I got a chat here. Let me check the chat real quick. Okay, yes, I love that. So that you've already been kind of thinking through it. So if you go back and look at your last 10 posts, I want you to count out those 10 posts and say if you're promoting the products, the company, or your business, okay? And if 7 or more of those you're promoting something with Plexus, then you are not a giver on social media, all right? You are not giving value or adding value, and that's okay. We've all done it. Here's the thing. If we all go audit and we all find out, oh my gosh, our last 10 posts were all about why Plexus is so awesome, that's okay. Doesn't mean you've done anything wrong, but now we can actually, it's how we learn, and now we can begin to implement some of these principles and change it. Because look, we may not even realize what we're doing, Mine may be all plexus because that's what worked for me 4 years ago, and it's not going to work now. Maybe some of you guys, because we tell all of our new ambassadors, make your first plexus post. So maybe we have trained them to post all kinds of plexus stuff. That's okay, right? But we want to ask ourselves, what is something I could share that can add value and impact to other people? How can I educate, entertain, or empower people by sharing on social media? That's what people are looking to get out of social media nowadays. Doesn't matter the platform. Doesn't matter if it's Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. People are on there to see what they can get from you. What are you sharing with them that can impact their life? And when you start to have this shift in your mindset, when you start to have this shift in what you are posting on social media, you will have a change in your business. I promise you, you will start to see more comments, more likes, more people ordering your products and joining your team. So social media is the greatest tool we have. Like, we are a very lucky generation to be living in this time because we can have our reach impacted tenfold, right? Like I talked about, we just have to use it the right way. So how do you give more on social media? How do you make a bigger impact? Okay. You actually have to give more of yourself. You have to give more of your knowledge, and you have to give more of your time. And I know all of you guys might be thinking, man, Amy, I thought you were going to talk about like algorithms and how to use Instagram tonight. But guys, this is kind of the foundation for making those posts. And then we will get into a specific training on each of those on another call. Because tonight, if you don't have this foundation, it doesn't matter what you're posting on social media, regardless of the platform. So the first thing you have to do is give more of yourself on social media. And I have on here, embrace your inner weirdo. I hate that it's kind of fuzzy. I didn't realize that. But listen, guys, we're all weird. Why are we all weird? Because it's a Monday night and we're sitting on Zoom learning how to use Facebook for network marketing. Okay, we're not normal, right? We are weirdos. You probably have even had your friends tell you that, maybe your family. Like, it's not normal to be doing this when our other people are watching The Bachelor and having some wine or going out or whatever, okay? So a lot of your people maybe have said, like, why are you doing network marketing? Or you may have even had family say, like, why are you spending so much time on this? You're not making any money, right? But you know the value. You know the end goal. So there's a reason we're all not normal, and I want you to embrace it. I also want you to embrace what's unique to you, okay? Most people, the reason we're all not normal is because we refuse to accept what is not good enough, right? We refuse to accept that. Most normal people are unhappy. They're unhealthy. They don't wake up excited every day. They aren't working in jobs that they love. And did you guys know 80% of people hate what they do? They hate it. 80% of people hate what they do for a living. But we're different. Like, we are embracing network marketing. We want a better life, and we have decided to do this. So you need to embrace that. And we have something that we want to embrace in Plexus. We're all about creating a legacy, impacting others, really changing lives. So when it comes to social media, you have to do something called radical authenticity. And for some of you guys, for a lot of us, actually all of us, this is really hard. Some of us are just further along in sharing our authentic selves than others, okay? You can't be afraid to put yourself out there. You would think that sharing yourself would be like the most easiest thing on the planet to do, right? Because if you know anything, you know yourself. But it's actually the scariest thing to do. But it's what's going to get you the biggest impact, right? Because you can't be afraid to be yourself. If you want to be successful in network marketing, you can't be afraid to be yourself. You have to have the attitude that, look, this is me. This is who I am. I am just out here to find people that embrace me. And if you don't, I really don't care. Right? You have to let that just roll off your back. Because in today's social media age, what's going to set you apart is not the perfect Plexus post. What's going to set you apart and what makes you stand out online and get a following and get people going to your page, it's being yourself. And you can't water yourself down, and you can't make yourself like anybody else. You are unique. But to share yourself, you have to be vulnerable, and that's very scary. You have to be authentic. You have to be okay that some people aren't going to like you. And for a lot of us, that's hard. Like, we want everyone to like us, but especially in social media, and especially when you're being vulnerable, you have to be authentic. And that means not everyone's going to like you, and you have to be okay with that. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be better than anybody. You need to be different. Different is actually better than being better, right? You need to be yourself, because you are the only unique thing on social media. No one else can be like you. So there's also, though, something when you start to put yourself out there in a true, authentic way, there's something called the magnet effect. All right. Many of us have already had the magnet effect. Some of us haven't yet. So I'm giving you a heads up. If you are going to be true to yourself, and then that means you're going to attract people to you that you want, people you want on your team, people you want in your life. You also are going to have to repel the ones you don't, okay? So you're going to have haters and you're going to have trolls. Many of you have heard the story when I first started posting on social media, really doing attraction marketing and sharing plexus. I had people that brought me to tears, all right? Everyone who has ever done something awesome, anyone who is popular on social media, anyone who has made an impact in another person's life, they have trolls and haters. We just do, okay? So expect them. The question you need to ask, though, as you're sharing content and you're sharing plexus, are you going to let those one or two trolls, you know, those bullies that hide behind a keyboard who are miserable, are you going to let them stop you from living out your dreams? And I hope the answer is no. I had that girl that one time who brought me to tears. I honestly right then could have quit and been like, I'm out. But I didn't. Instead, I shut my laptop, I made me a cocktail, and I complained to my upline, and like I let the tears roll, right? And then I got back up on the horse and kept going. So if you're not boldly you, then you're actually not ever going to find your perfect audience where you can get all of these people who want to join your team because you're being authentically you. And I want to talk a little bit about fear here, because fear is probably what's stopping all of us from making social media easier. Because when we start being ourselves and being authentic, we don't have to figure out what to post on Facebook. It's easy. It comes to us. We don't have to scroll and try to find all these perfect posts. But when we talk about fear, I want you to think about it in a different way. Being afraid to put yourself out there, some may say you're actually being selfish, okay? This is actually what Bob Heilig teaches in his Legacy Academy. He said that you're selfish by not putting yourself out there. So if you don't want to do Facebook Lives because you're afraid of them, he says you're selfish. And you might say, no, I'm really just shy or I'm afraid. And he would say, because if you truly want to impact others, and if you truly want to help others have success, if you have that service mentality, then you would stop hiding behind the fear and the shyness and all that as an excuse, and you would do it afraid, right? Because when you're truly focused on serving others, that helps with stopping fear in its tracks, okay? Now, get ready for this, guys, because this is huge for your social media. I don't care if you're on Instagram. I don't care if you're on Facebook. There's a few other ones that matter, but Facebook and Instagram are the big ones we used. The ultimate demonstration, and it's what people are looking for on social media, of putting yourself out there, is going live. There's nothing else you can do that's more obvious that we want to pour into others and add value. And there's no better way to make a connection to people than a live, whether it's an Instagram live, because they have that now, or it's a Facebook live, okay? And so I don't want to talk anymore about fear, but I just want you guys to know that if you're afraid of Facebook Live, it's actually something you should do, because it's an irrational fear. And our brains don't even know the difference between like irrational fear or rational fears, right? So we're going to talk a lot about lives because it's the best way to show your vulnerability. And in Facebook and Instagram world, if someone views your live for 3 seconds, that's it, 3 seconds, it counts as a view. And the more views you have, then the more people are going to see your content. But just if some people are watching, they're afraid of lives. You really want to kick your business in gear, you've got to do Facebook Lives. And we're not talking about lives about Plexus. We're going to get into that later, what you guys can start posting about, all right? So keep that service mentality, and that will help kick some fear in the butt. So in the social media age, if you do, I did a little bit of research today on all of the 2 billion people, why are they using social media? And it's really just to learn and gain knowledge and connect with people. A lot of times people say because of social media, we're not connecting. And I totally see that. I see, because people hide behind a screen, they don't necessarily know how to have a conversation. There's a lot of kids growing up that don't have empathy. But I also see social media as being a great way to build relationships and connect with people. And so the second way you can increase your social media power is by sharing and giving more of your knowledge, all right? And when we talk about knowledge, there's 2 things we want to talk about. One is the curse of having knowledge. I certainly fall into this. We don't give ourselves enough credit for the stuff we learned, right? I get on Facebook or I get ready to write down all the stuff I'm going to talk about, and I'm like, I don't know anything. Like, who would listen to me about this? Like, why would anybody tune in if I'm going to talk about this? I don't have anything to talk about. Well, we don't give ourselves enough credit over all the things we've learned, not only just over our lifetime so far, but just in this business. Guys, think of all the videos you've watched, the books you've read, the information that you've written down in a notebook or highlighted in a book just since starting Plexus, right? You could literally change someone's life just by that content. And a lot of I fall into the trap of thinking, well, if I know it, everybody knows it, right? I'm not going to share that. Everybody knows it. But no, people don't. We can't assume that the knowledge we each have as individuals, that other people aren't going to want to know. So just by being in this business, we get exposed to knowledge. So we have to stop being stingy about it. We have to stop being stingy about what we know and start sharing that, okay? The other thing about when it comes to sharing our knowledge on Facebook, in posts and lives and videos, is the imposter syndrome. And this is the irrational fear that we really don't have anything valuable to share. And it often comes from a fear that maybe we aren't as far along in our business as we hoped. We're not the rank we want. We don't have the big paychecks, right? So you think, well, who am I to start talking about gut health? I'm not a nurse. I'm not a jewel. Who am I to start talking about these things? But listen, we don't need to be a jewel with a big paycheck or have all these credentials to impact the life of one person. That's all we're talking about. We're just wanting to impact one new person, right? So share what we have been given through all this personal growth. And listen, if someone on Facebook shares something with me, the Irish Spring, the Irish Spring for my mouse. Somebody shares something with me and it actually works. I use it and it works. I don't care that it didn't work for them. I don't care if they've never even tried it. I don't even care where they learned it from. All I remember is so-and-so told me about the Irish Spring and it worked. All right. So don't get hung up on needing to be kind of an expert and not feeling value that you can't share this. Okay. So when it comes to sharing on social media, though, this is where changes for us are good. If you are using the same posting rules or posting philosophy that we did 3 and 4 years ago, it's all changed. Okay. So now on social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, it's all about quality, not quantity. And you would think Instagram is different because it's all photos, but it's not. It works on the same algorithm. Facebook has the same algorithm for both. So the good news is you only need to post 1, 2, 3 times a day max, which actually makes it easier for us. It's easier for us to come up with content if we only need to post once a day, twice a day. And it frees up time for us to be spending on actually working our business. So remember, go back, do your audit, and if you're spending tons of time actually engaging and posting and coming up with content, then we need to just dial that back a little bit, okay? So how can you make a bigger impact in 1 to 3 posts a day, okay? 1, You got to do live videos. I'm going to say that over and over and over and over. And we're going to talk a little bit on how to do some super easy lives. Because nowadays, that's how you get a following. That's how you are seen. And that's how you make an impact. You cannot do that without doing live videos nowadays on Instagram or Facebook. If you have people whose businesses are growing, who have a big following, they have a lot of followers, if you watch them, they do live videos, okay? So we're going to be talking about quality now over quantity. When you look at your last 10 posts, like I said, we don't want to be an infomercial for Plexus. But listen, guys, here's what's awesome. It does not mean that we cannot post about gut health, inflammation, the microbiome, skincare, wellness, exercise. We can post about all of the things that are about Plexus. All of this knowledge we have about all these things, that's the stuff we should be sharing. We just don't want to make every single post a sales pitch for Plexus, right? So we want to focus on educating, entertaining, and empowering. Those are the 3 things we should be doing with our posts. Think about all the stuff we know about just gut health that other people don't know. I mean, that right there is an entire year's worth of posts, right? Now, you don't want to only post about gut health, but if you're sitting there thinking, well, I don't know anything, if I shouldn't be posting all the time about Plexus, how can I build my influence? How can I impact others? That alone, right, is something that you can share. You can share about the green lip muscle without actually ever having to mention ease, right? You can share about the benefits of chromium without ever having to say, buy my pink drink, all right? So we're going to start posting less, and we're actually going to have better content, and that's going to free us up for more time working our business. And then it's going to actually help our Facebook or our Instagram not feel so stale, right? When you go back to that audit, you're probably going to, because I do it a lot, I audit often, and I'm like, whoa, Amy, your posts are terrible lately. Like, it's either all junk that nobody cares about. It's like way too many selfies that people are like, yeah, okay, we've seen you and your kid. Or it's way too Plexus heavy. So you constantly want to be auditing to see, how am I adding value? Why would somebody look for me on social media? Why would somebody want to come and see my post? And why would Facebook or Instagram want to show people my posts, right? So we're going to talk about how to create good content. And there's 2 main ways to create content on social media. One is the expert approach. We don't recommend this. You do not want to label yourself as an expert. Why? Because other people don't consider themselves an expert in anything, so you're not relatable. If you want to try to create yourself as some expert on gut health or metabolism or anything like that, it makes you less relatable, so people aren't engaging with you. Instead, we all want to do the take the journey with me approach, all right? Because it's way more relatable. If you are saying, like, I'm on my way to becoming an expert in gut health, then that's great. It's way more relatable. So I would say, if you are someone who's doing lives, or maybe you're not doing a live, maybe you're afraid. Maybe you're doing a live, but you can't get your team to do them, or maybe you're not doing them yourself. It could be that you're in that kind of expert thinking you have to be an expert, or maybe setting yourself up as an expert that makes people less relatable. So when we talk about sharing ourselves and our knowledge on Facebook, it's okay to talk about your failures. It's okay to talk about your challenges, but it's also okay to talk about your successes. People will love your successes, but they will relate to your failures. Now, hey, I'm not talking about being negative on Facebook and being the drama queen. That's not what I'm talking about. But if you have learned things on your journey and you have failed, that is what people will relate to. So do not be afraid to share that. And one of the easiest ways to get started, guys, on sharing this stuff is called learning out loud. We've talked about it before, but a lot of times we don't apply it to our social media. Anything you've learned, share it. Get a notebook. Anything you've learned. Did you learn some stuff when you read Girl Wash Your Face? Have you learned some stuff when you read, I don't know, any other book? Have you learned some stuff when you watched a microbiome video? Did you learn some stuff when you went to a seminar, at convention? Do you have notebooks from trainings, even at your day job? If it's worth writing a note out for, if it's worth like getting your pen out, if it's worth like highlighting in a book, then share it. I just read the book, You Are a Badass at Making Money. I highlighted the heck out of that book. And here I am sitting here thinking, boy, I haven't been live on Facebook in a while. I don't know what to share, or I don't have any posts to share. When I have that entire book of stuff that I learned and I could relate to, highlighted, that I'm keeping to myself, that I'm not sharing with my network, okay? So you do not want to think of it this way when it comes to sharing content. You don't have to be a songwriter, okay? You don't have to come up with original content. You want to be more like a DJ, right? What do DJs do? They take other people's songs, they kind of mix them around, they put their own spin on it. That's what we're doing with our content knowledge. So I'm going to take that book I read, I'm going to give the author credit, but I'm going to share it in my own words, and I'm going to put my own spin on it. That's all we're doing. So all of the stuff we learn on the team page about health and wellness and all the things, take it, put your own spin on it, and share it, okay? Sharing your knowledge is how you impact other people, and that is what is going to get those people to follow you, to look at your Facebook, and to engage with your Facebook, all right? So a lot of people, though, are like, oh, man, you know, I don't know what my personal brand is, Amy. We always talk about your personal brand on Facebook. Guys, we've had trainings on how to figure out what your brand is, but I'm going to make it really easy for you in the new age of social media today, not 2 years ago, today. Your personal brand, it's you, right? That's it. It doesn't matter what your personal brand is. It's you. So what are you interested in? I don't care if you're interested in like cats that dance with tutus on. That's you. That's what makes you unique. And it doesn't even have to have anything to do with plexus. You don't have to be even passionate about gut health. It doesn't matter. That's what the new social media is all about, because it works. It works to build your influence, and that's what's going to get people to engage with you and to join your team and to try your products, all right? So how do we decide how the heck I'm going to start sharing new stuff, new content to build my legacy, to build my influence, to have an impact? You're going to do something called storylines. You're going to figure out what your 3 storylines are that are you, all right? And so I'll tell you what mine are, and this is what you're going to start sharing about. This is the knowledge you're going to start sharing. Mine, when I think of my 3 storylines right now, it's living the RV life, and that's new, okay? It's being a mom. I post a lot about being a mom and like kid stuff. And then I really think I do post a lot about like living a healthy life, right? Like, you know, no chemicals, natural deodorant, eating clean, all that kind of stuff. So those are kind of my 3 storylines that I share content about. Here's the cool thing though, guys. So let's say some people don't connect with living healthy at all, or being a mom. I have tons of friends that aren't parents. They don't connect with that at all, and they could care less about being healthy. But they connect with one storyline. They connect with my RV life, okay? So they may not have to connect with plexus at all. They connect with that RV life, and that creates a point of commonality. Maybe nobody cares about gut health when I start that relationship. Maybe people are, you know, they're going to McDonald's. They don't even have kids. They don't care about anything I post, but they do RV life. So they start following me for that, for the content that I put out with the RV life. We engage, we build a relationship, and that ends up helping me then get a customer who now is curious about gut health, right? But if I'm only one-sided, if I'm only posting about plexus, then I'm not getting those people to engage with me, okay? So when you're trying to think of your storylines, what your 3 things are, what are things that are most important to you? What do you find joy in? What do you find interesting and fascinating? What do you like to learn about? And let your freak flag fly. I don't care, like I said, if it's kitty cats that dance in tutus. If you're passionate about that and you love it, you are going to start sharing, because in today's social media age, that's what's going to set you apart. That's what's going to get people to go to your page and ignore somebody else's. That's what's going to get people to engage with you, right? So what are your hobbies? If it's your family, fine. It can be anything. It doesn't matter. Don't think it has to be as unique as kitties that dance in tutus, right? It can be my kid, my dog, and I like to cook cookies. Like, it can be anything. It doesn't matter. But find the things that you're passionate about, right? And then that's what's going to create those points of commonality. If you think about it, right, it's just kind of like real life, because everyone who's joined you on Plexus, think about some of the people on your team. You probably went to high school with them. You were in maybe a club with them. Maybe you met them at the gym. Maybe your kids go to school together. Maybe you're sorority sisters. Maybe you met them at the gym. You met them somewhere else. That's probably what connected you guys in the first place. They didn't join your team because you're some expert on gut health, or they were looking for posts on gut health, right? No. So it's all of these things are born out of just sharing more of ourselves. And the more you can share in different ways, the more you can grow your business. Okay, so think about what those 3 storylines are, and they don't have to have anything to do with Plexus, because here's what happens when you start sharing content. And there are some people on our team, like, I would love to give everyone shout outs that do this well. The one that just pops into my mind, it might be because I just saw it, is Caitlin. She loves to wrap babies, right? She loves to baby wear. That's a huge passion of hers. She does a really good job adding value to other people and impacting others through sharing her knowledge of baby wearing. She goes live. She'll show you how she wraps. She'll even show you if she messes up, right? And by doing this, by doing these things, by sharing this knowledge you have, you are going to create something that in the social media age is called know, love, and trust. As you start sharing your vulnerable self and you start sharing your knowledge, it's going to create a following. People will feel like they know you. They will love your content, and they will trust you. They will become fans of yours. They'll want to join your business, and they don't even know what it is. That is really how we create that ongoing content, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram. So if you came on here and you're thinking, because I've been there, I've been thinking, man, I really need to learn Instagram because my Facebook is kind of stale, right? Well, it's not the mode of social media. It's how we're thinking about it. So if we start putting ourselves out there, we start sharing our knowledge, and we start thinking how we can empower, educate, and entertain, the actual mechanism doesn't matter. Those are just different audiences, right? So the third way, though, we want to talk about for really creating impacts on social media is giving more of your time. And when I first was reading about this and learning about this, I thought it meant you had to give more of your time to others. I'm like, oh man, we're all already spread too thin. How are we going to give more of our time on social media? That's not what it has anything to do with. This means you have to be consistent. So just like everything else in our business, just like we tell our customers, be consistent on your products, just like we tell our business builders, be consistent, right? It's the same with using social media to build your business. So often people start sharing of themselves, right? They start doing lives, they start sharing content, and then they don't see the results fast enough. They don't see all of a sudden more engagement, more Facebook people, more comments, more business builders, more customers, right? So they stop doing it. I've been guilty of that. It's because I'm in the success mindset. I'm like, man, I'm doing all this stuff. Why can't I get more customers? That's the wrong mindset, okay? We have to stop looking at what we can get. And to be successful in Plexus, to be truly successful and have that legacy mindset, we have to think about long term. We really, at the core, have to be in this for the long term, and we have to be in it for how we can impact other people, how we can help other people. Because if we show up every day and we figure out how we can impact others, then we will see results. I promise you, you will get results. I get more people reaching out to me about plexus when I stopped posting about plexus. Now, I can do that because I've been in this industry now for 4 years. My network, they know I'm the crazy plexus lady. If you're brand new, you are going to have to share about plexus. You're not going to want to do it every, 5 times a day. But I find with my network now, I have met a whole bunch of new RV friends. And because of that, I'm going to you'll see me if you follow me on social media, I will be doing some posts that introduce what I do to all these new friends I've made over probably the last month, right? So you always want to be thinking about that as well. But listen, when I was talking to Bob Heilig not too long ago, I'm in his Legacy Leadership Academy. He went out on his own to do his own consulting. And did you guys know that for 6 months, he didn't make $1? Not $1. He was flat broke. And he also, for 6 months, he did a live video every single day. And for 6 months, no one commented on it. No one, not one comment, nothing. Can you imagine if he'd quit? But he didn't. He had that long-term, I know if I keep doing it, I will get better, I will get results, right? So social media, though, the cool thing about it, guys, if we master this, it's not a one-on-one return. It's not a one post, one customer. It is you get a 1 on a billion return, right? You just have to be patient and consistent, okay? Because here's the thing. Another thing about social media, you have to honor where you're at on social media. A lot of times we get hung up on, especially on Instagram. I know I've been there where it's like, oh my goodness, I need more followers. I need more likes. I need more comments. Or even now I'm like, well, I'm not going to do a live video because I don't have anybody commenting. I get like 2 likes. Well, listen, that's the wrong mindset for us to have, right? We don't need 10,000 followers. We don't need 50 comments on a live video to make a difference in the life of one person, okay? So give yourself time to succeed. And the other thing to think about, the content you're putting out on social media, it's now the legacy that you're leaving. Think about this, guys. We're the first generation ever to experience this. No generation will ever have their lives documented like we have. Now, plenty of generations after us will, but it's never happened before. So we don't even know what to expect. But I want you to think about the legacy you're leaving, right? Because sometimes what drives me is knowing that one day Adelaide, she's going to see everything I'm putting on YouTube. She's going to see all my live videos that are on Facebook. She's going to see the content I am putting out. What do I want her to learn from me? So think about your legacy. And in today's social media, sorry, I'm going to go to another slide here. In today's social media age, when you look at why people are online, it is to look at content that empowers, educates, and entertains. I've said that over and over and over. Write it down. Educate, empower, entertain. Because if you're not sharing yourself and you're not sharing your knowledge in today's social media, which is different than 2 years ago. Like if you joined 2 years ago, it's now different. You will be invisible on social media if you are not sharing your knowledge and your content, right? So this training, this foundation, these action items are how you can make a bigger impact. Because if we don't have this figured out, then it doesn't matter what the algorithm is on Instagram. It doesn't matter how to use groups on Facebook to get, more engagement if we don't have kind of this foundation. Because then the next time after we do these actions, the next training we will get into specifics on really how to use Instagram and how to use Facebook. But even then, if you're not looking on the foundations of how to educate and empower and entertain and how to be bigger, how to make a bigger impact, none of that stuff matters. So the actions for all of us tonight, you want to do your 7-day time audit. So go back and look at the last 7 days. And listen, if you're spending all of your time trying to figure out what to post, making graphics, looking for graphics, saving posts, then we're lopsided, okay? We're going to, and in fact, this training is going to be really good for you because now you're only going to post once a day and you're going to figure out how you can share your knowledge. So then you're not scrambling, you're not creating graphics, you're not editing photos all the time, okay? The next action though is look at your last 10 posts and see what they are. Are all 10 posts a selfie of you going to the gym? Are all 10 posts of your dog? Are all 10 posts of the pink drink? Okay, whatever those 10 posts are, you want to have a good kind of even spread between educating, empowering, and entertaining. And maybe only 2 should be about plexus, because again, we don't want to be a billboard. We don't want to be an infomercial, okay? Then the next thing you're going to do, we're all going to look at our storylines. What are your 3 storylines? You're not going to overthink it. You're just going to figure out, what am I passionate about? Right now, remember, mine's RV life, being a mom, and healthy living. I think healthy living, I mean, I post a lot about it. I'm pretty passionate about it. Somebody might say, no, Amy, you post a lot about wine or drinking, or okay, maybe that's it too, but figure out what the 3 things are that you're passionate about, and then you're going to start looking for content. You're going to start looking for content on how you can start sharing things on social media, okay? So I'm going to give you really quickly, what are some of the best places to find this content? Oh, I'm just seeing yeah, I'm totally talking to you, Brittany. Sorry, I just saw your comment. So you guys, where can you find content for learning out loud? You can find it anywhere, okay? You can go back to the last Wellness Wednesday we did on the team page. You could go to the last book you read, a podcast, a video, a webinar, a magazine article. You could have read something awesome in Cosmopolitan, all right? Go look on, you can even go on YouTube and look at what people are searching that's popular. Maybe you have knowledge to share about that. Again, you don't have to be an expert, okay? You just have to share authentically. If you are in a Facebook group and there's great content in that, share that. Look for popular threads. Go to blog posts, find their stuff, right? Just, you know, like I said, be the DJ, spin it around, put your own spin on it. Give the original person credit if you have to, if you're sharing from a book. But there's knowledge everywhere. Just the fact that we're in network marketing, I have got notebooks full. In fact, they're right here. I have 3 notebooks full of stuff from John Maxwell when he spoke, Les Brown when he spoke at convention, right? All those speakers at convention that I'm writing these notes down, I need to be sharing this with my audience. So I hope that was helpful tonight, guys. We will definitely have more in-depth training, but this is definitely something you have to master, the foundation for creating that bigger impact in today's social media.